Banana DeVito. But now I just see a big bright light. So once that goes away, Hammond Jordan, good evening, good to see you. Heavy J, we're Lima. How about Charlie? Chuck Gables, 5x5. Sand Dunes, good evening, Sergeant Major. Hear you now. All right. I don't remember what I just said. No, I'm just kidding. Talking about obstacles, right? How fitting is that? And that was the message at church today. And miracles, how to turn obstacles into opportunities, how to turn setbacks into setups. Whole message on it. And it's great. Again, it feels like I felt like the pastor was talking to me. And I start thinking, and he was saying it, everybody's in the room has come crossed some obstacles. I was thinking, I can talk about it on the channel. We come across obstacles. And then thinking, how about all y'all? You come across obstacles every single day. That's the devil. God is putting you in that position so you can turn those obstacles into opportunities. Amen and amen. All right, David Bryant's here. Heavy J is here. Jared is here. Sky is here. Chuck Abels already gave me the 5x5. Bobby Heenan just retired in October after 21 years, and now I'm bored wanting to get back. Bobby, welcome to the channel. This is why we're here. Because after 21 years of service, brother, you got some stuff to give. You can't stop serving, right? When people say, let it go, man, hang it up. Again, if you're a painter your entire life, your adult life, 21 years, you retire, you're supposed to stop painting. Come on. That goes for anything you've done, probably over 10 years, I'm guessing. It's what you love, what you do. So welcome, Bobby. Hang out, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let's continue to build this and do it with us. That's what we're doing. We're all together in this. All right. Echo 9, now ready. Lima Charlie, over. All right. Oh, Heavy J. Every day I end up, every day I don't end up dead or in jail for stupid reason. I overcame obstacles, leaving the old man behind. I'm telling you, those obstacles can make or break you. It's how you turn them into opportunity. All right. Hunting Gaming. Hello, Jared. I already said hi to Jared. Brian. Thank you, everyone who has served. God bless. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you saying that. And if you served or you plan on serving, thank you. That means a lot to us. It really does. Matthew asking, what's up? Guns. Double click the screen, everybody. Double click. I always say something else the producer told me to say. Oh, and share. I said it earlier. Share this. We get people, I get messages from people, from old friends. I say, hey, this came us, or somebody sent this to me. And that's just that. Obviously, that's what we're trying to do, is get it out to as many people as possible. Bobby says, I work with civilian in skiff that doesn't know nothing, nor could I relate with the slow work rate of civilians. Yeah, so Bobby, that was because I was getting excited. I want to say more about that. Working with civilians is tough, especially after 21 years of service. I just recently did it, and it was painful. And the worst part about it was I was working with some other retirees that just completely switched over to civilian life, selfish, money hungry people that made it impossible to stay. So here's what I'll tell you, Bobby. Again, that's another reason why we're here now. How better can we continue to serve? Right? What advice do everyone on here has? This is such an amazing community. Hang out and you'll see. All right. Hunter, ask any question you want about the Marines. Again, hence why we're here. And the message I got from that old friend, actually someone who I used to work for, he's like, bro, just an amazing channel. You're just giving back. You're serving. It's educational. You're providing information for people prior to service, people during active duty, and then their transition out. Nailed it. He must have watched it all. Echo Lima, URAH 75, my brother. Stats on D, served in Beirut, Lebanon. Love you, bro. Love you, bro. Thank you for your service over there. Tough. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Here we go. How come the Marines or any other U.S. military branch makes you cut your hair? That's a fair question. Um, Hygiene, for one, because you're going to be, especially in the Marines, you're going to be out in the field, out in the desert, out in the cold environment for weeks, months on end without having any kind of hygiene facility. You're not always going to be able to wash your hair, for one. You don't want bugs and stuff growing up in there. The Marines are extreme about what? Or no, is that what it is? So Marines go to the extreme in everything. So ours are the tightest grooming policies, standards, 0 to 3 inches, graduate, all that stuff for uniformity as well. And because Marines are fanatical, that's what it is about being Marines. So, kind of two-part uniformity, discipline. It's a team, right? There's no individuals dumped in the Marine Corps where you can have a full mop or grunge hair or something like that, dread. It's just uniformity. It's that team aspect, and then hygiene as well. Good question, though. And then there is land force for the Marines. Marines do it all. That's the beauty of being the Marines, air, land, and sea, right? Amphibious warriors, but air, land, and sea, so you can do any of it in the Marine Corps. We're smallest, very tough, the toughest. It's very laggy. Is it laggy for anyone else? Thank you, Matthew. Matthew, fanatical about what? What movie is that? Movie quote. Marines are fanatical about what? What movie is that? Jared's asking Hunter, you thinking about 0311s? Or are you talking about 0311s? Yeah, it is a little, is it a little laggy for everybody? No chest hair visible. Thank you, David. Right? You don't want no spider crawling out of your Charlie shirt. And it's another reason to make that white t-shirt underneath your Charlies mandatory. And the green t-shirt underneath your camis. Gross. And it's professional. It just looks better. About being Marines. It is a little laggy. I think it is too. I see it up on my screen a little bit. Well, welcome everybody. Sunday. Again, great church service this morning. If you haven't, go to church, watch something online. Today we're going to talk about barracks life, living in the barracks. That's the pre and boot camp sort of beginning of your career. During the service, we're going to talk about extracurricular stuff that Marines do or should be doing, like hobbies, for instance, community service, volunteer work, all that important stuff. How important is it? Um, and the transition part, again, VSOs, it came up in a conversation. I was looking at an old magazine, Marine Corps League magazine, and some ideas came to mind as well. Someone again, Bobby just got out 21 years, not feeling the civilian community yet. And I said, yeah, because I'd been out for a while. When I immediately got out, was their TC. So I was still in that mindset, right? Still moving, shooting, communicating, drilling, competing, all the things that Marines do. So that was an easy transition. But then starting to deal with civilian counterparts started to be tough. Our language is different, right? And they don't need to learn mine. I got to learn theirs. That was the hard part for me. And then later, again, more recently, being in a community, a civilian community surrounded by prior service and retired Marines was tough. Couple at the top just had completely forgotten about how they succeeded in the Marine Corps. What got them to the top? Why not take that into your civilian life as well? So those are three things: barracks, extracurriculars, transition slash VSO. So welcome everybody, everybody. I saw Bobby. Welcome everybody. Bobby was, you were Army, um, but I subscribed because I miss everything military. We need you here, Bobby. Not only do we want you, we need you. You got to keep us honest. And yes, I make our Army jokes quite often, but all the services, and that's that's inter service rivalry that we love, and it should never go away. Hurrah. Hurrah. So thanks for being here. And we're going to ask you questions as well. Jordan Hammond says, I want to say thank you to the SFMF family. You have helped me get through some obstacles in life. I, thank you, brother. Thank you for saying that, because as have you all helped us get through some obstacles along the way as well. And recently, we've been doing this for a little while, couple years now, and we just hit our 100th episode live. Really? All right. Woo. Can I get something? High five? Anything? Come on, camera. 100th live. I've done this 100 times. Oh, that's 101. All right. You have done it. You have done this 100 times. You've hung with us 100 times. So thank you very much. Awesome. Heavy J says, I think we have everyone here short of a Space Force member. I think you're right. And we got to get that, forward this to your friends. If you know somebody in the Space Force, share it with them right now. Share the channel with them. We need to get them on here. I missed that question. Dave Bryan says, so I'm in the Marine Corps of Crawford. Dang it, I missed that one too. Hey, Jay, we hit 100th episode. Yes. In fact, the producer thinks this may even be 101. Amazing. 100. We've done 100 of these. The what? Yes. Yeah. He said, you ran your suck for 100 episodes. Yes. We had a friendly sibling rivalry, Bobby, but we all served. Amen. Jared, I couldn't said it better myself. At the end of the day, one team, right? And some of those inter service rivalries can get pretty nasty. I think I told you a while ago about a fight we had in the Gaslamp district in San Diego, and it was us against Navy. And again, at the end of the day, bro, one team, especially the Marines and Navy. But at the end of the day, we are all serving. Jordan Hammond says, I went through some really tough obstacles in my life, and the people I am in my corner helped me out. So I want to say SFMF, you have also helped me out. Thank you, brother. Again, it's amen and God bless. Right? That's why we do what we do, and we can't do it without you, especially 100 of these. All right. Folks says, old Jareen coming in as hope. Yeah, 2-5. You didn't pick that? Huh. How does that happen, old Jareen? Because that's why I recognize the name and your picture. But that was odd. All right. So once again, welcome everybody. If you're just joining us, first thing we're going to talk about is barracks, not the condition of the barracks. Trust me, I know, and I've told several stories about the barracks that we used to live in 2-5 and 3-3. Just the infantry gets the short end of the stick most of the time. I can't talk about the East Coast. Never been in the infantry barracks there, but I know in Hawaii and California, we've had some pretty crappy barracks. Heavy J, thank you, brother. 5 memberships, gifted 5 memberships. So anyone within the next few minutes, you get if your name turns green, amen. That's a gift. Excuse me. All right. So barracks versus living out in town, right? So as obviously in boot camp, open squad bay, SOI, open squad bays, some of your, I don't think any MOS schools, um, MCT, anything after that, I got to believe that every single MOS school has barracks rooms by now. Um, 2-man rooms, 3-man rooms, maybe even up to 4-man rooms. Sometimes you might even share a head, right? Quonset huts, remember that? They're still on MCRD. I never over Camp Wilson. Have they taken them all out of Camp Wilson yet? But I've lived in some Quonset huts. And I'll tell you a story about Quonset hut and our producer. She thought the whole round thing was like, "Wow, how doesn't all the furniture slide to the bottom of the Quonset?" And I had to convince her that was only half of that barrel. So the floor is actually flat inside a Quonset hut. 29 Palms, again, Camp Wilson has Quonset huts and the A-frames. Remember the A-frames, it's the same idea, steel, so it's blazing hot in the summer and freezing cold in the winter. Crazy. Thanks again, Heavy J. Appreciate that. Talk to the recruiter, get your waiver if you have to. What's Colleen getting? 28, still too late to join and feeling a bit lost in life and have considered joining the forces. Absolutely join, 100%. And 28 is, I mean, that's the maximum right now, but waiverable. It's waiverable up pretty soon. It's going to be waiverable up to 42. Either way, talk to the recruiter now, convince him if you're physically fit, you're gonna have to pass a PFT, probably convincingly the minimums, but you absolutely can. It's not too late, not too late at all. And I highly recommend it. Absolutely. Old Jerry, 28, definitely not too old, not too late to join. Had a 32-year-old on my platoon. Remember, as a drone instructor, I had a 31-year-old. We did a little short on a Marine that was 34, graduated boot camp. So you got it. Motor T School in North Carolina were like apartments. They were great compared to most, in my opinion, says Jared. So again, that's boot camp, MCT or SOI, and then your MOS school. All barracks, some type of barracks life. When you get into the fleet, the FMF, the Fleet Marine Force, your first duty station, single Marines will still live in the barracks. And that can be all ranks, all the way officers as well, staff NCOs as well. Single, they are going to offer you a room in the barracks. And depending on what unit you're with and what base you're on, the availability of rooms. So E5 and below, I don't even know if it says it's mandatory. I don't know what the verbiage is on it, but E5 and below live in the barracks, right? And lieutenants live in the officers' quarters until or you get married if you're already married. Then you get BAH, basic allowance for housing. You move off base or into base housing somewhere. So you're out of the barracks. Sounds great. Some units or some bases, if the barracks is full, they'll allow the E5s. They'll start with sergeants, give them opportunity to live off base, receive BAH and comrades and live in the community, which is great also. And I 100% agree with that for sergeants. If it's still full and there's a availability problem, then they'll allow it to corporals. I haven't seen that too much, but my first time, and I don't remember if I did it as a first sergeant or a sergeant major. I would try to, like my admin clerk, he would work, he would work odd hours. So getting him a comrades instead of a meal card, usually I think it was, I think it worked often. Never had a problem with that because that Marine, he'd be in the office early with me, we'd be PT and he'd miss breakfast, lunch, I'd have him work through, and this is multiple, not just one guy. So there is an opportunity for comrades for Marines that work odd hours. And I'm sure there's probably all kinds of MOSs that applies to. Be very careful. He has to be the right Marine, right? Mature, know how to operate like that. Aside from comrades, the barracks. We even at one point when we owned a home in California, we had 4 corporals renting our house. None of them were receiving BAH. So they were doing it on their own. The 4 of them put their money together. Frowned upon, not unauthorized. But here's the deal. They all 4 still maintained a room in the barracks because they're single E4s. The Marine Corps has to provide that for you. So even on Friday mornings, Thursday night was field day, they'd have to go back to the barracks, field day the room, and get field day inspected the next morning. Not an ideal situation. And they're taking a room from someone else who may need it. Right. So it's hopefully I'm guessing by now that's probably a little more squared away. Staff NCOs and above receive comrades and BAH and can find an apartment, a house off base. I want to talk about which one I recommend, but I think as a young Marine, definitely live in the barracks. Take full advantage of living in the barracks. It's going to be most of the time near your company office where you got to work. It's going to be near a chow hall. It's going to be near the PX. It's going to be near a gym. So no need for a car, in other words. So that's just saving you so much money. Use all the entities that are provided for you. You're a young Marine, start saving money. And just like we did with USMC Cece, convinced her not to buy that brand new car. As soon as you get out on your own, you have a paycheck, a steady paycheck, dealerships, finance, E1 and up, buy this car at 28% interest, no worries. A, a lot of problems with that. It's unnecessary. And then as a young Marine, if you have a car, guess what? You just made some really good friends because they're going to want to ride everywhere. They're going to help you with the payments or the insurance or the maintenance or the gas, maybe gas every now and then, but that's all on you. And they're going to want you to take them everywhere. So don't do it. Unnecessary. All right. Heavy J says, ping in the audio, but still limit Charlie. Audio and visual. Man, it's weird. All right. Maybe I should sound off. All right. Bobby says, hello, not just for Fort Bragg, but I'm more with the younger soldiers, including my son. I missed that part of the conversation, but if we're still talking about the barracks, brown baggers don't field day. It was great, but junk on the buck was a pain in the butt. Old Gyrene. So that was an issue for a while. I had been in 2 years before I got married. So I lived in the barracks for those 2 years, became a brown bagger, and I thought the same thing until the barracks guys are like, this is BS. How come the brown baggers don't need to be here for field day formation? And then how about they clean the common areas? And this is open squad bay, old Gyrene. You know what I'm talking about. What's up, Manaka? Happy Sunday, brother. God bless you. Brown baggers did. We had our responsibilities of in Camp Pendleton. It was open squad base, so we had the common areas, the pool room, the little gee dunk room, the duty hut, outside police, the basketball courts. We had those old H style barracks, so we just had to clean our half of the barracks, everything except inside the barracks, right? The common areas. When we moved in barracks, even in Hawaii, when I went there, we had the brown baggers would show up to, and a brown bagger, in case you don't know, is a married Marine that doesn't occupy a room in the barracks. Brown baggers did just they wouldn't be there all night. They would clean their common areas and take off. Be part of the accountability formation. Right, okay, brown baggers, clean your areas. Let me know when you're done. Platoon sergeant, company gun, will inspect it, and then they could take off. What that does, however, is causes people to think, well, I'll just get married, I'll get the extra money and move off base. Not let me fall in love with someone, marry the girl of my dreams, and then, oh, wow, look at that. We happen to get BAH now and we can live off base. So, what they call it? What was that called? Fraudulent or something? Because people do it. Maybe that's what we did. People do it. Couldn't care less as a young Marine. I was like, how stupid, get it together. You two are best friends now. Even male and female, you pretend you're married. Great. You both get BAs. Now you're making tons more money. Something happens, one actually does find a significant other. Now it's a problem. And by the way, it's illegal. So don't do it. You don't need to live off base that bad. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of that time where you don't need a vehicle, everything's in walking distance, and use the chow. Can't stress that enough. Use the chow. It's provided there for you. Yeah, the pier is still kind of fluffy, or maybe that's just me. What I miss with Jared. Old Jared says still had had to stand fire watch, but usually paid someone to take it or made a deal um, to be a designated driver if needed. So yes, the brown baggers still had duty, A duty, duty NCO, staff duty, whatever the requirements were, you were included in that. So still, again, one team has to secure the barracks and clean the barracks. Just the brown baggers didn't have to stay. But with the barracks situations, they get better. They get better and better. Saying as an infantry battalion sergeant major, we got the crap barracks almost all the time. And I won't get into this, but it's a 10-year cycle. In Hawaii, it was anyway. 10 years they work on base housing, right? In the meantime, those 10 years, the barracks are degrading. Then they switch over, 10 years, they're going to work on the barracks. Barracks are coming up to speed, they're getting a lot better, they're refurbishing all of them. But in those same 10 years, housing's going down. So again, hope they figure out a good way to do it all the way around. But so the question was, as a Marine, when can I move out of the barracks? Right? E5 and below, stay in the barracks. Staff and SEALs and above, that's when you get to staff and SEALs and officers. That's when you're authorized to live off campus, off base, out of the barracks, unless you're in a specific unit. In 3-3, I had my admin, my senior admin clerk was a corporal. I got him comrades and the authorization to move off base if he wanted to. He never did. I had two of them. Neither one of them wanted to, but they could have. But they definitely, because it's so. What would be the benefit of that? Because the hours that they work, those guys never had a chance to go to the chow hall, and they're going in and out all throughout odd times of the day and night. So just to give them the freedom and a bonus and a little era. There you go. Thanks for all your hard work. Um, but the comrades was the big one, because like at all of a sudden it'd be 1500 and they're like, sorry major, I haven't eaten yet. I'm like, oh crap, the chow hall's closed. And again, that's a reason. Maybe armors, right? Specific MOSs, and hopefully you have some. When command approval, you can get off base quarters. Again, command approval. So more reason to always do the right thing, always be ready, be that mature Marine. So if that ever does come up and you do want to get comrades or live off base, the chain of command be like, oh yeah, he's solid Marine. Absolutely, we can trust him to do that. All right. Didn't know you were with 3-3. I was with 3-5. Semper Fi, brother. 1-3-2-3 and 3-3 in Hawaii. 3-5. That's 5th Marines. You're in California. Awesome. Love both of them. 3rd Marines and 5th Marines. King Pongan in university right now. Next year we're graduating. Think about going to OCS Marines. Anytime for me. Any tip for me? 100%. Go for it. Awesome. Not that it matters, just curious what school you're going to and what your major is. But that has absolutely nothing to do with you having the opportunity to go to OCS. Find your local OSO, Officer Selection Officer. So go talk to the Marine recruiters and tell them you want to speak to the OSO. OSO doesn't stay at that particular RS station, that recruiting station, but your recruiter can get a hold of him or her and they'll tell you your options. But 100% King, highly recommend it. 100%. And stay here, stay on the channel, ask some questions. These guys will be able to answer better than I would, but 100%, there's convince me otherwise why you shouldn't. You absolutely should. Big Daddy Flavor Town Force 606. Good afternoon, SFMF. Do you have a favorite? What is it saying? Can you see it? Oh yeah. Favorite time of boot camp. 2-8, another great infantry battalion. Um, a boot camp, I'll definitely tell a boot camp story. Yeah, I want to go air crew chief. Do you know how hard medically it is to be clear? Because I heard it is really strict. Can't be that strict because I got authorized for air crew. Colorblindness is probably one of the biggest medical. I don't know. I can't think of anything. You want to be air crew chief, a crew chief. Again, where's the air wing on here? I don't think so. Nothing ordinary, out of the ordinary that stands out, but color blindness is one. Brown beggars paid good money to stay at home with their honeys. Keaton Joe Bay. I'll tell you. Brown baggers, I envied as a young Marine. I did envy brown baggers. They come and go, and brown bag meaning like you bring your lunch in a brown bag. That's probably where it started from. Maybe old Gyrene started that nickname, but it's your brown bagger. You bring in your lunch to work because you don't live in the barracks. And as a if a brown bagger goes to the chow, they got to pay for it. They didn't have the meal card back then, so that's where that came from. Um, but I envied the brown baggers because that's how bad open squad bay was. But what I realized quickly when it changed over, when I got to Hawaii the first time, Third Marines in Hawaii the first time in the early '90s. I was a corporal, married, one child and one child on the way. That was our second baby was born in Hawaii. I got to the barracks and they're like, okay, your Marines are in room so and so 201. I was like, oh crap, they have rooms, they have their own rooms. So like, yeah, it's great, they love it. What I found as a brown bagger squad leader, the communication was so much harder. We had cell phones back then, was it? Not yet. So no cell phones. Yeah, cell phones weren't as prevalent as they are now. So we'd hold formation and you'd be waiting, go knock on that door, knock on that door. Just getting everybody to a formation was kind of tough at first. And then like Friday evening formation, safety brief for the weekend. All right, enjoy, be safe. Don't do anything stupid. See you back here Monday morning, 05:30 for PT. Dismiss. Poof. Everyone was gone. Right back to their rooms, their two-man rooms, probably on their Nintendo. They're playing Pong or Tecmo, whatever electronics they had back then, and their gigantic TVs as big as they were back then. And just everyone was to themselves. Sega Genesis. So as a squad leader and a brown bagger, I hated it. I just got there. I didn't even know my Marines. I figured Friday everybody kind of hangs out a little bit, maybe get some beer, go out to the what they call that out back in the picnic tables behind the woodshed, drink some beer, kind of talk story a little bit, and then people made their plans and showered and changed over. No, when they had their own barracks and some place to hide, boom, they were just gone. So it was tough, and it was like at lunchtime, you know, pre-lunch formation 11:30. All right, be back 1300. Poof, everyone's gone. Where does that camaraderie come from? How do you get that? You had your little cliques, of course, but just being together, right? Learning each other. In the open squad bay, as much as it sucked, somebody says it's buffering. As much as it sucked, you knew everything about everybody. A little too much, maybe at times, but you knew when someone was upset, they broke up with their girlfriend, they got in a fight with somebody, a family member dies, whatever. You knew that about each other. So that just built that cohesion so much more, that camaraderie, that teamwork. You knew if someone was late, you knew why. Here you got to bang on doors and go find him. Well, what room is he in? Yeah, now beer garden. Thank you, Sand Dunes. Yes, the beer garden, right? We used to use those all the time. I mean, that's where at any time they smoke pit and the beer garden. Never smoked, but if you needed someone to just chill with and talk to, go to the smoke pit. There'll be someone out there. It doesn't happen anymore. Everyone's got their own cars. Everyone's got their own electronics, their phones, what they spend way too much time on. So yeah, I get it. We're moving with technology and times are changing, but we got to maintain that camaraderie, right? That's why as a first sergeant and a sergeant major, my PMEs, professional military education, wasn't always on desert ops and current ops and future ops for the unit. Nothing specific. We would talk about business for a minute so I can get the okay from the CO. Okay, so I'm taking the boys to the beach. Why do you have 20 surfboards on the back of your truck? Well, because we're going to build some camaraderie. That's what we're doing. We're playing softball. We're doing something. We're drinking some beer. We're barbecuing. We're just going to get to know each other, right? What better way than not only sharing misery together, but sharing some fun together? Man, I already moved into my transition and BSOs on the way out. But the barracks life, you take advantage of it, right? Nothing worse than driving by a barracks now that I'm out, or even as a first sergeant, even a company gun, walking through the barracks and you see nobody. Like, man, what are these guys doing? Hold up in that little 10 by 10 room. What could they be doing in there? Sometimes you just don't want to know. But get out, get out, get out, climb a tree, skin your knee. So you should tell the girls, go outside, dig a hole, climb a tree, skin your knee. All right. Safe place. Sounds like a safe place. Were you Army? Oh, Jerry, who's talking? 101 airborne patches. I'm gonna share this with you. Something I saw on General Smith, right? The current commandant. It's old. And when I was talking to the producer about it, she reminded me that was old. It's been out forever. Was he commandant when he passed it? He was commandant. Maybe, maybe not assistant commandant or something. I just saw the short where he did. It's about Marines, how we wear our ribbons, right? Eighth of an inch above the left breast pocket and center. Simple. That's just where they go, right? It's in the uniform manual. You get taught it in boot camp, especially those that got the National Defense Ribbon. You learn that stuff for your shooting badge, 1/8 of an inch above the pocket and center. Simple, not that big of a deal. But during an inspection, let that baby be off 1/64 of an inch off. You're gonna get thrashed. It's 1/8 of an inch above the left breast pocket and centered. And do we get fanatical about it? Yes, because Marines are fanatical about being Marines. But that just translates later on to discipline, instant willing obedience to orders. In his example, General Smith's example was right now it's just your ribbons, an eighth of an inch above your left breast pocket and centered. That's all it is now. But you put so much into it because later it's going to be a grid coordinate to drop a bomb. It's going to be a target notification of where you got to hit. It's going to translate to something bigger later on. And that's discipline, right? The whole Sergeant Major, get off my grass type of thing. Because in the barracks and the garrison, and when everything's safe, there's no war going on, it's just walking on the grass. Really, how big of a deal is it? But if you're willing to have your ribbons off and don't care, if you're willing to walk on the grass and don't care, what will that translate into later? So found it very interesting that not only was it passed by an officer, the commandant of the Marine Corps passed that. It was very cool. If you haven't seen it, look it up. He explains it much better than I probably just did. It's all being squared away. What are we talking about? It's Page. Is he for real? Airborne Ranger, 8 chords. Yeah, so Ton Tavern. Who brought that up? Richard Bridges. Thanks for sharing that. The 250th birthday celebration of the Marine Corps at Ton Tavern, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Doesn't sound like it's going to happen. And we kind of had a feeling. We were all fired up, all of us on the channel, fired up when we heard. I was ready. I kept asking her, make plane reservations. I don't want to lose out. We will be there. As we were following, as she was doing the research on it, it was a trademark issue for a while, right? To be able to call it Ton Tavern. And then now it sounds like, what do you bro? Funding. Now it's a funding issue. So doesn't look like it's going to happen. And I think personally, even when we were hyped about it, and I'm very optimistic, I thought it was going to happen. That's something they should plan for now, for like 5 years from now. One, if you've seen that area, and that was the first time in Philly. We went to the where Ton Tavern was. We saw the marker, and it was like a couple feet away from a very busy highway, 8 lane, busy as heck, and it was just feet from it. So no way they could build it right there, close to it, I'm assuming. But on the other side of it, next to the freeway, is a city, freaking busy. Your old typical one-way streets and no parking and busy city. So it did seem unrealistic to me, but as optimistic as I was, I was hoping it would happen. But that's something I think they gotta And they should continue the planning now, and maybe it'll be here by the 255th birthday. I don't know. We'll see. Mary Ellen, what does SFMF mean? Anyone? Semper Fi My Friend. Era. Marines had another translation for it, Semper Fi Mother Father. Close one. And it's a term of endearment. Era. Semper Fi, my friend. Thanks, Marianne. Hang out for a while. Like and subscribe and share with your friends. And maybe there's something you're interested in to watch and learn. I had two comments on the last short. Said, "Hey, bro, I'm not military, but I love this information. This is great, great channel. Keep up the good work." Those are awesome, also. So not only do we have all the branches of the military here, we have civilians, patriots. Still no Space Force guy. Come on, we need a guardian, right? They're called guardians. We need some guardians on here. All right. David Bryant, what do you say? Sugar-free marshmallow fritters? Close, Jared. Nashville, Tennessee is supposed to have an amazing 250th. Have you ever watched Philly Parking Wars? No, I've watched Parking Wars before. I don't specifically remember Philly though. Hmm. Star Wars. So the G Foreign Wars too. They're not in this world. They're not. They're not the Space Force that you're talking about, Randall. That's why they're not here, because they're not in this world. They're in space. What is this page talking about? Do they serve spam in boot camp? Oh man, Doctor. Yes. If they did, I would go back just for the spam. Love spam. But I don't think they do. A lot of ham slices. You know when the Chows run out of food, when they serve all kinds of when ham slices the main meal. They save that for the just in case. Still good. We need one Space Force that went on a spur ride with the Army so we can have Space Cowboy. Right, yeah. Mary Ellen, your dad is Navy. Tell him Semper Fi shipmate and get him on the channel. Forward this to him right now and get him on the channel. We'd love to hear from him. And thank you for your support as a military brat, right? Not easy being a military brat. Oh, Brazilian Navy, even more. Get him on here. Let him know. Uh, Travis, Bickle, you see it? Love the old school poncho line. That's it. Best piece of gear the military has ever issued. All right. You did again. You got me off topic. I don't know how we talked about it. We're talking about the barracks. Um, again, I'll leave you with this: young Marines, stay in the barracks as long as you possibly can. Right? Find your soulmate, you fall in love, you get married. Absolutely, let that happen. Don't fight that, but don't do anything crazy or stupid just to get out of the barracks. Right? Make that your home. And with today's society, they let you make that your home, right? They let you be comfortable. You put stuff on the walls, you have little trinkets, decorate it, make it comfortable, get you a little uh, area rug, a carpet, a comforter for you. Make that your home, right? And take care of it. Still got a field day, still got to maintain it, sure. But get comfortable on it. Get comfortable being a little bit uncomfortable, but it's a safe, secure place and you're saving money while you're there. So I highly recommend staying in the barracks as long as you can. All right. Daddy and Caddy, not gay, but you so bald, it's so shiny, beautiful. Thank you, Daddy and Caddy. Hurrah, Semper Fi, my friend. That's $2. I'm gonna use that for razors so I can make sure it's and some gel to put on after. No homo. You gotta say that. Not gay, same thing. Right. Jared says, don't marry a Marine though. Marine couples kind of make out though. Military couples kind of make out, right? They both get the VA loan, they both get the BAH. It works out, but no, wait till you find the right one. My first wife is a Marine. Terrible idea. Jared, what'd you do? I mean, what did she do? Don't tell us. David Bryant says, well, the Air Force was a branch of the Army. Did Space Force break off from the Air Force? Again, is it just me? We don't hear a lot about the Space Force. Right? What are they doing? Maybe it's that top secret that we just don't know. I got to believe that they put time, money, and effort into it. A lot of Air Force members transferred over. I guess no news is good news, right? Nothing bad is happening. Heavy J, excuse me, I have to step out. I have to step off. Someone man the time card. We're approaching 50-minute mark. Thank you, Heavy J. Semper Fi, brother. Appreciate you. See you soon. Coming back. She never got over postpartum. It's not funny at all. No comment. It's tough. It- It's tough. Did she have a light switch where she'd like turn the switch on and the devil horns would pop out? Or just it blinked wrong? Never dealt with any of that. 5 kids. I hear you, Jared. Prayers are with you. Arrest Army is thank for all the Marine Corps knowledge and tips. Michael Romero. Semper Fi, brother. Era. Here's Gunner. No, it's not funny. Like if it was serious. Oh, why did what did you do? Everything's gone. She's messing with. I can't even see what she said. So, Jared, that was the legitimate, like a medical. She didn't get over it. Oh, no, that's bad. She turned to drugs instead. Terrible. Not funny. I didn't mean to make light of it. Luckily, we survived ours. Yeah. No, going through it was not fun at all for me or anyone near us. Just kidding. See the blink? All right. Just Hart, join the Navy. They said, see the world. They said, they didn't say 80% of it would be water. You're in the Navy for crying out loud. Of course, it's going to be near water unless you're flying. Still, you're going to land and leave from a ship. Gunner, just want to ask you this. So, what was your rank when you retired? I retired as a sergeant major, Gunner. Thanks for asking. E9 sergeant major. Um, and no regrets. We haven't. I don't want to get off topic because the next one is extracurricular activities as Marines, and it kind of goes off the what are you doing in the barracks and the camaraderie. I mean, he just Jared. I wasn't offended by Sergeant Major. I know you weren't making light of it. Hey, for real, brother. You know, I think you know me by now. Look at Big O is here. I was a young Sergeant Major. You're absolutely right. Still am. You, on the other hand, that's different. You could be in a sub and see nothing. Great point, David Bryant, right? In the Navy. What if you're in a sub? You don't even see the water, do you? Doc Holiday. What's up, SFMF family? What's up with you? I think we're about an hour in already. Doc, what you missed, we were talking about barracks life, either living in the barracks or how fast and how quickly you can get out of the barracks, which is what most Marines want to do. And my advice is enjoy it, embrace it, save money while you're there. Everything's in walking distance. Take advantage of living in the barracks. As soon as you become a staff NCO or even a senior sergeant and it's available to you, by all means, start that part of your life too. The maturity that goes along with it. Now you're paying bills and it's just a little different. But don't be in such a rush to get out of the barracks. And this coming from a guy, us older guys like Jared, Big O, that lived in open squad base when we were young Marines. That was tough. All right. Um, David Bryant, you don't get Doc's posts. I apologize. You know, California is always on fire. Doc, yes, do your best, brother. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. So did you stay in the barracks while at TBS? I think you have to at TBS, don't you? The basic school, any officers in here? I think you have to. Ones that are married. That's interesting, WDD. Do you have to live in the barracks if you're in TBS? What about OCS? OCS, and I'm pretty sure you would have. OCS, but TBS, the basic school, that's interesting. Probably not though, come to think of it, because you go to basic school as a prior enlisted Marine brother. Some have a family already. So obviously the family's not gonna live in the barracks, but would they stay at their home duty station? I don't know. It's interesting. If you're single, I would again 100% recommend it. You can't convince me otherwise. If you're single, young, live in the barracks, take advantage of all that. All right. Doc says we live next to Lake Paris and it's on fire currently. Nothing crazy, but the smoke is getting close. We'll be praying for you, Doc. Stay safe. Is it? Do you have to water the grass? Yeah, yeah. Stay has to get them hoses ready. Make sure the cars are back in, ready to take off, and they're loaded with stuff. We had a close encounter in our house in Hawaii where we were watching the fire. We had a hose and like, it's not a big deal. It's up on the hill. The neighbors, as going the opposite way. Neighbors were kind of spraying. Well, I had their hoses ready. We were sitting on the fence, kind of enjoying the show. And then, like in a 30-second span, the wind shifted, whew, went down the hill and was coming up the hill onto our fence. We had to get USMC Cece out of the grass, threw her over the fence. We all loaded. I grabbed my dog, put her in the car, forgot one of my kids, had to go back. Luckily, we were back in, but we live in a cul-de-sac. I was trying to back out at the same time. The fire truck it was chaos. So be ready. Doc, we'll be praying for you. Big O. Speaking of open squad bays, the puncher liner reminds me of the NCO divider. That was it. This was your wall in open squad bays. The poncho liners separated the NCOs from the non-rates, right? In that open squad bay. And there's nothing you wanted more as a young Marine, as an E3 and below, to go on the other side of that poncho liner. That was it. Get in the NCO section. That was it. Gave you something to strive for, something to work for. And you could hear each other. But as an E3, as a non-rate, you don't cross that poncho liner. That was it. That was your wall right there. Good times. Good, different time, but good times. All right. They might cut the grass real short. Where we live, our backyard, half of it is a hill. We have a lot of land, but it's old, or it's field brush. So that's our real good firefighter friend says you got to clear that brush. You got to clear that brush because it went up like that. Fire don't mess around. It was instant, and it did. It was creeping over our fence, burned some of our lawn furniture and the grass. Again, luckily we a little prepared, got everybody in and out safely, but came back and there's soot everywhere. It smelled. It was. Be ready, Doc. Keep us posted, brother. Jared. Yeah, the NCO section was it depends on who your NCOs were. Um, Gunner saying telling Jared he's been training his core every day like you told me to do. It's been 3 days every day. You got to, and you're going to be sore. You're going to go through a process of being sore. Ask Annie Benani if she'll admit it on here. We did a chest and try workout yesterday morning. Pushed it a little harder than normal, and we were working out together. So when you work out by yourself, it's easier to slack off. It really is. And I've been working out my entire life. You work out with somebody, you get a little bit of pressure. So hopefully she felt some pressure yesterday. That's why she pushed it a little harder, and she's paying this morning. Yes, or this evening. So it's true that Marines are first to fight, like they said in the hymnal. Yes, Gunnar, first to fight for right and freedom. We talked about that. What's today? Sunday on Wednesday. That slogan, first to fight, is facts. And every now and then you get some special forces guys, no, we're not. SEALs were there first. Yes, they're small little pockets of special forces. That's what they do. They go somewhere first. But to take an entire unit in order to obliterate an area, they send the Marines first. Marines are first to fight. We go in first. We're going first because we're the fastest. We're the smallest. We're the most expeditious. We go in, wipe out a city, settle things down, and then the Army comes, the Air Force, and they come build PXs and Starbucks, and they make it a base, showers, swimming pools, whatever it is, to make it a base camp that we can operate in and out of. Then the Marines leave and get back on ship and wait to do that somewhere else. First to fight. It's a fact. All right. Uh, I'm here in New Mexico. We currently have over 4 separate wildfires. The newest one starting today. What else did it say? I missed it. Code talkers, the Navajo code talkers are 100% in our prayers. But good luck to all of you, and we'll pray that it's contained. Get those wildfires contained. Horrible, and I'm telling you, it's so unpredictable. So we definitely will be praying for you. Code talkers. That's another topic for another live as well. Some amazing, amazing people. Engineer support. That's what you need. Engineers build that fire break. Hanson was a great time. I loved Camp Hanson. Learned a lot. Learned not to go camping in the mountain range behind Hanson. We did some stuff behind the mountain range in Hanson when I was a Stephen Chill Academy instructor. We used to take each class used to go out there for like 2, 3 days camping, right? The field op. Sergeants would stay like 5 days, and his career course stayed like 3 days. The gunnies stay like 2 days because gunnies are they like to go glamping. They don't like to sleep in the field. But as instructors, we'd go out and mess with them while they're sleeping and do some what was that one scary show those kids filmed themselves? Um, I'll think of it in a minute. Doc says, was ever a moment during lights out where you just sat there in silence and reflected? During lights out on the depot as a drill instructor or as a recruit, Doc? Kinville, Randy, that's Randall. That's the real name is called Sin. What do you think of Cody Alford trying to say? I don't know those guys, Gunner. A Blair Witch Project. Thank you, Michael. Blair Witch Project is what I was talking about. Yeah, so we'd send the sergeants out there, put them in their little shelter house, and they'd be all over, and it's woods out there. Camp Hanson, the fields, it's woods, thick, dense, just like the Blair Witch Project. And the walk from the gate to the campsite was about a mile. So even I would spook myself out after okay, all the Marines are set up, they're in their squads, whatever, they're doing some defensive, they're down for the night. Then the instructors would walk back. One night I had to walk back on my own, a mile through the woods. And before I left, I was like, hey, don't forget this one when Blair Witch first came out. I was like, hey, anybody see that movie, The Blair Witch Project? They're like, no, shut up, don't say that, don't say that. Quit messing with us. But of course, as I was walking back by myself, I heard some noises and saw some things that I stopped joking about it. And I had a battle buddy with me. Kim Blue Beach, David Bryant. Kim Blue Beach was great. This did so I started my certification for scuba diving was in Okinawa. Beautiful. Kim Blue was beautiful. Walking there and back wasn't always fun, but we caught a ride every now and then. Every now and then a little Japanese farmer would pick us up and throw us in the back of his truck. But other than that, we did a lot of walking. The mongoose all over the place. We'd feed the mongoose so they came and messed with the Marines while they were sleeping out. It's White Kitchen still in Kenville. Good job. White Kitchen was great. Um, the East Coast was a place. Two places I went to mainly. East Coast. That's why I'm deaf today. They played their music so freaking loud. There's no way to talk to each other, so everything was hand and arm signals. And it was speakers, and it was tiny, nothing but speakers. But that's where all the action was. East Coast. And then that last food shop that sold the chicken leg was looked like a cat leg or maybe even a small dog. Huge for $1, 100 yen. Delicious after you had a buzz. You're walking back, you always save $1 so you can get that chicken leg. Yaka puppy. Wasn't yakitori, it was yaka puppy or yaka mumpy. Yeah, yaka puppy. Ryan Alpha, good question. Do you think it's okay to start running every day as a smoker? Ryan Alpha, first of all, quit smoking. But yes, you have to run every day if you're a smoker. You're going to sound like me, and I'm not a smoker. You have to. Mine is from asthma. You have to, one, stop smoking. How much does a pack of cigarettes cost? First of all, so you're just wasting money just to destroy your body. And no, vaping isn't a good alternative either. Quit putting that poison in your body. Yes, it's the dad in me. Stop smoking, but yes, start running every day, and you'll see when after you stopped right now, hopefully that run is going to be a whole lot easier when you can breathe. So yes, run, 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 and keep running. Sand dudes, East Coast rock. All special forces do close CQ training. Yes, she's CQB. Absolutely, all the time. Camp Buckley. I have not, Rhonda. Where is that? Has any Marine here been to or Bukele? Bull Kelly. Buckley or Bull Kelly? Where is that, Randall? Jake Paul wants to. I'll fight Jake Paul. Oh, what unit was I? My very last one, Third Marines, America's Battalion, 33. 25. Best running program to do, D-man. Here's what I recommend for running. I don't know the best program. I hear to increase or decrease your time on a 3 miles. To improve your score on a 3 miles, you need to do sprints. So I like to recommend to people the sprint, run, the fartlek. On the track, it's easiest. You sprint as hard as you can the straightaways, jog very slowly the curves. You're regaining your energy and you sprint as fast as you can, jog. Do that for 3 miles, 12 laps. Here's what I recommend. Just get out and pound the pavement. You just have to do it. You just got to do it. That's all there is to it. And it's you're working so many muscles in your body. It is something that you could do every day. Do you need a day off of running? Nope. Just change it up. One day instead of hitting the pavement, do an elliptical or treadmill or swim. Running, you just have to do it. Again, maybe there's some runners in here. I've done marathons, I've done 5Ks, 10Ks, I've done them all. I'm not great at any of them. I just love to run. I just love doing it. I don't have a runner's body. I just love to be out there. Marathons are the best because there's so many people. Just being with that community is motivating. So run, you got to do it. And here's the other thing that I've learned about myself. I love Marine Corps PT because you're on green and green, nothing else. Even in marathons, I would go green on green or a different shirt or something, but I didn't have belts and straps and pads and things and flags hanging off me and all kinds of weird. I don't need food. I don't need water. I don't need just get out and run. What I have learned though after the military is running with sunglasses is pretty comforting. Guys, you're not squinting the whole time. And then even I start wearing earbuds and running with music. Then I could definitely run like Forrest Gump. I just kept on running. You can just run forever, but you have to do it. You got to do it. I'm on the turf. Running absolutely matters. I missed it, but I see Jared's telling you right now, don't listen to your brother. Running 100%, 1000% matters. Everything you do is going to be some kind of cardio challenge in the military, right? Specifically the Marines. So run, build that cardio up. Jay Dillon, good to see you, brother. No pain, no gain. Facts, right? Life is too short to die weak. You can implement any word there. Life is too short to die small. Get in the gym. Life is too short to die dumb. Get to school. But definitely, running is everything. Era. Sanders, go ahead and not run and see how that works out for you. There you go. Facts. Stop running. Right? See what happens, and then try to go to boot camp. Try to go to a school. Try to go in combat. Try to patrol for 6, 8 hours and see how that does for you. Great way to put it. Amen, Gabriel. Jesus does save. Jiu-jitsu is another great workout. Did you see the new Army about shaving? Yes, I did. The new policies about shaving, I did. Derek Big Horse. I saw that, even talked to the producer about it. We're kind of weary if they're going to hold anyone to it. But for those that don't know, the Army said they're going to start kicking people out that don't shave. How serious are they? Because it's, again, that thing, oh, yeah, I see you need a shave. Do you have a shaving profile? And most of them say no, they don't have a shaving profile. They just decided not to shave. And that's clearly not authorized, but they do it and they get away with it because of leadership or a lack of leadership is a better way to put it. Even where I was at, we're at Sam's or Costco. I was at Costco with the girls. Sure enough, a soldier, female, in her camis. So here, so don't try and tell me, Army, that you don't wear your camis, your BDUs in public, because you do. No one holds anybody accountable. No more chits, Randall. So that's what the Army's saying. No more shaved chits. It's come from Pete Hegseth. No more. He's done with it. The Fuculitis, folliculitis, that's real and that's a thing. And yes, you will be given a couple days to fix it, let it grow out, let the bumps, the ingrown hairs grow out, clean it up, whatever, and then start shaving in. But the problem is, just like anything else, everyone takes advantage of it, lies, starts getting their get it all cut and shaved and trimmed and nice and cut a little Z in their beard and making it the ZZ top and braiding it. Completely take advantage of it. So Secretary of Defense said, no mo. We'll see if that works. A lot of great comments on that. I just did a short, funny because I just did a short on that. Should Marines be allowed to wear beards? Primarily, 5 to 90% said, hell no, we're Marines. We're different. That's what makes us different and unique and fanatical about being Marines. But there was some, yeah, why not? You should be able to earn it. NCOs and above, staffing NCOs and above, makes you look tough, right? All those things. But saying back to why we don't: uniformity, teamwork, discipline, look sharp, act sharp. Right. So all the obvious reasons why it's not authorized in the Marine Corps. So we'll see. Gonna lose a lot of excuse me, soldiers. I think so too, Randall. Those, to me, again, not to offend anyone, that's pretty simple minded. You went into the Army knowing that beards are not allowed. So why would you try to grow one and change the policy while you're in? The NBC, the gas mask fitting has been debunked a long time ago. You can, you can still create a seal with the beard on. Some foreign fighters authorize beards in their uniform and they have no problem doing it. So that was a take on it a long time ago. You cannot properly seal your gas mask with a beard. That's, again, that's been debunked. So for the Marines, it's uniformity, discipline, look sharp, act sharp, cleanliness, all those reasons. All right. I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. C72, do you have any tips for a skinny guy joining boot camp? I already work out and pass the physical requirements, but I want to know if being skinny is a problem. No. And if you're under your weight, they're going to put you on double rats, double rations. So throughout boot camp, they're going to try and fatten you up. And I'd recommend you do that now. When I was years ago, a long time ago, I was training, trying to gain weight, and my trainer would tell me, you got to eat more. He just kept telling me, you have to eat more, eat more. And I said, well, I can't eat clean so much and it's expensive. He's like, no, you need to eat and be full. Don't stop until you're full. And I said, I do, I do. He said, how about Thanksgiving? How about Thanksgiving dinner when you eat? I was like, oh man, that's like uncomfortably full. He said, that's it. Bingo. You need to be uncomfortably full after every meal. And I did. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. It's not easy. It's not as easy as it seems. Now, once I reach a certain weight, then we start cutting it off, and that's not easy either. But I would recommend, you don't want to be skinny, you don't want to be underweight, but definitely be thin. So if you need to gain a few pounds, go for it. Skinny is not a problem. This is Derek. He was 125 pounds at 5'8", very skinny. Graduated boot camp 150. double rats, right? Double rats and working out twice as much, 3 times as much as you probably do now. So gym to build muscle and more food, more protein, 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 protein. Get some protein and some carbs to gain it. Uh, C72, go for it. Again, you don't want to be the scrawny guy, right? Because you do some physical stuff. You're going to be doing fighting, McMat, boxing, pugil sticks. So you don't want to get beat all over the place. So put on some weight. Hurrah. Okay, active. Your time on active. What do you do on your free time? That's a way to look at it. Again, I talked about when the open squad days, we were on softball leagues. The wives were in a volleyball league. We did stuff together. Now, I think what people do, and this is the old man in me, right? They're working out, but they're working out their thumbs. Right? My kids are gonna cringe when you're getting a thumb workout because they're on their phones so much. You got to know when to put the phone down and get outside. Boot camp 3 months. I'm telling you, I would love a 3 month period when I couldn't have my phone. That'd be ideal. Granted, with today's society, everything's done. I don't even have a laptop person. I do everything on my phone. So I understand the work side of it. The producer spends hours on hers, getting smarter, knowledge. She's reading. She don't play no games. Every now and then, probably a little relief. Hopefully, she watches my videos, but it's learning. So as long as you're using your social media for the right reasons, sharing pictures of your kids with your grandparents, got it. We don't even do Facebook. So your extracurricular activities need to be a softball league, soccer league, some kind of sport activity. Turn those into barbecues after a practice, after a game. Community service, young Marines, community service times three. Get as many community service hours in as possible, not just for promotion points, but just for being a better person. Go to a homeless shelter, feed. Brother Bino's in California. Our platoon sergeant used to make us go there and feed the homeless. Hated it. We fought it. That's not how we want to spend our Saturday. Looking back now, what a blessing it was for us to be able to serve someone else, to help someone else. Beach cleanups. Most Marine bases are near beaches. Find one that's nasty and organize a beach cleanup. Got to go through channels and it has to be authorized and safety and all that. Highway cleanups. Adopt a highway. So many things you can do on your time off that not only occupies your time, keeps you out of trouble, saves you money, and just makes you a better person inside. Uh, uh, what better way to serve? Special Olympics, volunteer for the Special Olympics. You do something like that, that's volunteer service hours, so you can get a volunteer service ribbon. Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal, MOVSM. Coach youth sports. All right, go to your local base, go to MCCS and see what sport is coming up. I coached basketball one time because my kids run it. I can't coach basketball. I can barely play. I'm one of those guys that knocks people over. But I coach it because they're 5 and 6 year olds, 7 year olds. I can organize them, right? Like it just hurting cats and throw a ball in there. Volunteer time. You're helping out everyone, the community. You're getting your volunteer service hours in, and you're just becoming a better person. So your after duty time, spend it wisely. Time management. Michael says, my father always told me, serve something other than yourselves. Pops was an extremely wise man. Semper Fi to your pops, Michael. He was extremely wise. A drill instructor said, preach. We may be the stupidest platoon, but we'll be the strongest. Yes. Had a couple of those platoons as well. Um, but use that time wisely. It's there's nothing more gratifying than serving, right? Someone else, not just yourself. Like old boys pop. It's for all the right reasons. Put up tents for the Boy Scouts, Fatema, great way to spend your time. Young Marines, find your local young Marines. even as an active duty Marine, you can belong to the Marine Corps League or any of the VSOs. You don't have to be old and retired and overweight to be in one of these military veteran service organizations. You can do it as an active duty member, young Marine. That would just spark those guys, and you get to hang out with some old veterans. That's cool too. But you can, because they always need. Well, I don't know how much they need it, but they're always trying to do fundraisers for money. So you picture a old bunch of retirees trying to wash cars and make money. I'm not going to pull up to that, but if I see some young motivated Marines actually washing a car real good, I'll pull up to that and have them wash my truck. So find a veteran service organization near you and volunteer time, become a member. Right? There's just benefits to that, and everyone wins in a situation like that. Uh, Jared. Gunners asking, well, I'm going to hit a workout. Thank you very much, Jared. I appreciate you a lot. And then Jared says, okay, to still be, oh, Dylan Aber. Did you ever know Major Carver? Carver does sound very familiar. Looking at my producer, she knows who I know. Carver does sound familiar. From where? Where would I know him from? When was he a sergeant major? Sounds very familiar. Derek says, I wish I used my off duty for college courses or study outside the MOS manual. Another absolutely positive, great tip, Derek, off-duty education. I told you I took 1 or 2 classes early on as a young Marine and said, I don't need that. I finished my degree after the Marine Corps when I couldn't use tuition assistance anymore. I was saving my GI Bill, so I paid out of pocket. Stupid. Go to school now. Go to school now. He was Sergeant Major for 2-9. I didn't know him from 2-9. I never worked with 2-9, but it does sound very familiar. Hmm. Eric S. said, can someone get volunteer credit for serving alcohol to veterans drinking themselves to death at a VFW? Sounds pretty dark, like a pretty dark story. Do you really mean drink themselves to death? But with anything dealing with veterans, find a usually like in Hawaii, they have the Navy Marine Corps golf course. A lot of times veterans put on golf golf tournaments. Volunteer, volunteer to help out. That's no easy task. We've done a couple, and that is a huge undertaking to put on a golf tournament. And I'm not a golfer, but I learned from those things what a huge endeavor it is, and it's a lot of work. So another opportunity to be around veterans, serving your community, right? Everybody wins. Dark humor. Okay. All right. Scared me, Eric. You don't literally mean to death, but just feed them and getting them beers. Yeah, that's. I don't know if you that counts towards your to service ribbon, but it is volunteering. Can medical retiree get recalled to service? Great question. I don't know. Does anybody know that? I think it would depend on what your medical issue was, right? If it's you're missing limbs or something, that's a whole nother endeavor. But it's all going to depend on again passing the PFT. So I don't remember last time people were recalled anyway for any reason. But we'll see. I think you got to be ready at all times. All right, Michael. So, thank you for all your insight and information. Have a great week, and we'll see you on your next live show. URAH Semper Fi. Michael, same to you, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. And we did a Wednesday last week, so no Wednesday this week. So we'll see you Sunday. See you next Sunday. Watch the shorts. Those of you, does everyone here watch the shorts? How do we retire with most pay in the USMC? How do we retire with most pay in the USMC? 20 years. It's already set.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a set number. At 20 years, you get Yeah, start a side hustle. That's how but at 20 years, it's a set number. Then every year after that, it increases by, I think, 1.5% every 2 years, something like that. Same as government service, up to 80%. So you're not, so you're not going to retire with 100% retirement pay, but you can get up to 80% of your retirement pay. Military has a great retirement, great retirement system. Yep. Uh, your shorts are always on my recommendations. Good to hear, Eric S. Good to hear. I wonder that the shorts get a lot of visibility, but I wonder if this is the same. And we obviously recognize the regulars on the shorts and the live. But interesting. Snapper high and tight, not as tight as a sergeant major, and groom that hairy lip. Hurrah. To get full pay and benefits, you got to do 30 hammer, and that'll take you to 80%, right? 80% retirement, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Derek Big Horse says, I served in the Marines but retired from the Army. If I do get recall, can I choose what branch to return to service? God willing, brother, you better get right back in the Marines. Interesting though, since you retired from the Army. That's a great question. So if you think recalls are going to happen, I think you be aggressive and make sure they get you back in the Marines. What's the maximum years you can serve? Another great question, Joe Schmo. After 30, after 20, everyone, in fact, all your reenlistments are a request. The Marine Corps can at any time say no. So it's not automatic. Anything over 30 is a special request to the Commandant of the Marine Corps. He has to authorize you beyond 30. And I don't know if I've known any 40-year Marines, but I know a 36-year Marine, know a 32-year Marine. So you can serve past 30. Obviously, it's the generals and the very senior sergeants major that go beyond 30, but it is possible. Eric says, I already hit my dark humor limit, so I won't make a joke about scamming 100% disability retirement. Not yet, not today, not today. Funny. I don't know why, but when I do a push up, my left hand hurts. Am I doing them properly? Gunner, then you got to start doing one-handed push-ups. I mean, that's wait till um, your left hand heals. I don't know why, but here's what I will tell you: try different positions with your hands, or try even those little push-up bars, those little U-shaped bars, or a 25-pound dumbbell, or do it on the wall, right? Lean against the wall, or do it on something else, and just find out. Maybe wrap your wrist for a little while until it heals, but you gotta let it heal all the way. Um, so Major Haskell, is that the same Haskell I knew? 38 years. There you go. Needs of the core, right? That's what it boils down to. Can you explain the enlisted rank limitations on reenlistments? Yeah, yes, I can to a certain degree. You can retire as a staff sergeant, 20 years staff sergeant. If you don't make staff sergeant by 12 years, you're going to be forced out. Service limitations. So you have to make E6 staff sergeant by 12 years. And I hope that hasn't changed. E6 by 12 years, or you're going to be forced out. You make E6, you can spend the next 8 years as a staff sergeant and retire at 20. You cannot go beyond 20 as a staff sergeant. So there are service limitations. And you got to wonder, and I know some retired staff sergeants, and there's things in their record that they don't always want to talk about, or yes, unless it's a terminal rank. Broken time, right? Some bad fit reps, you get passed over. There's everyone has a story, but those are service limitations, and again, everything's waiverable, so they might be able to. You got to ask. You don't know unless you ask, but those are the common ones. E6 by 12 years and E7 by 20 years, right? Or it's service limitations. And some are terminal rank. We talked about the terminal lances. That's a 4-year lance corporal. They've reached their terminal rank. It happens in other ranks as well. Randall says, if I were still in, I would get my 10th service stripe hash mark next year. That's awesome. 10. Everyone knows every hash mark is worth 3 years, right? 3, 6, 9. So 3 times 10. Hold on. Where's my phone? 30 years. Get some Randall. It depends. I was not falling for that zing. Come on. I was a matter daddy for a while. Up dog too. 4 years. I was thinking of the good conduct ribbon is 3 years. 4 years for service stripe. You're right. Thanks, Randall. Every 4 years you get your hash mark. The good conduct ribbon is every 3 years. Hash mark is 4 years. Good conduct is every 3 years. 75% in 30 years, hammer. All right. So 75%. So yeah, when do you get 80? You have to go beyond 30, I'm guessing. Yeah. 40 years. 40 years, right? It's been 40 years since you went to boot camp. Derek says, on my last day of the medical board, I was made E7 list, but they couldn't promote me because I was medically retiring out. Is that true? Sounds like it because you have to commit 2 years each promotion after staff sergeant. So if you get selected for a gunny and you were going to get out anyway, you can't for 2 years. That stopped a lot of people from taking up that rank. So a first sergeant gets selected for sergeant major, but he's going to retire because he reached his 20-year mark, 30-year mark, whatever it is. You have to commit to 2 years of your last promotion. So it makes sense to me, right? You were being medically retired. So you would have to be on med hold for 2 years for you to rate that rank. But congratulations on being selected. The 27th of June, it was 40 years to the day that I stepped on the yellow footprints at Paris Island. I'm some old guys on here. Jared, 34 years. All right. I'm almost there, Jared. Almost at 34. Right? Look at Jared. You guys are old. How often are the yellow footprints repainted? That's a great question. It's got to be pretty often because there's a new batch. Hundreds of recruits step on them every week. Right. So I'm sure it's probably quite often. 13 good conducts. Yeah. That's if you got one every time. Right. Stayed out of trouble. I don't know, Jared. 4 or 5 years, you think? All right. Our last topic is we're going to talk about is, and we kind of already did. Here's what happens when you transition out. It's what? Oh yeah, it is buffering. Is it still buffering for people? The video. Here's what happens when you get out. Again, and I use myself as an example because I was that guy. I retired as a sergeant major and I knew everything, right? Because as I was growing up in the Corps, I spent more of my life as a Marine than not, right? My entire adult life. So that's what I knew. And every time you PCS, and I'm preaching to the choir here, everything's provided for you. Housing, if you're married, housing, school for the kids, commissary, PX, your job, right? Vehicles, if you didn't ship them with you, you someone's going to tell you how to get a new one. All your administrative duties are handled by administrative people. Your instant friends, instant family, instant community. If you live on base, everything is provided for you. Your education class, base education, pay. Again, go to admin, chow, whatever. Everything's provided. When you get out or retire, you have connections and links and phone numbers, and you've been told, you've went to your transition classes, you know what needs to be done. But once you're out, none of that stuff is thrust at you. right? If you miss your dental appointment, active duty, they're going to get on. You're going to make the dental hit list, and you better get to dental. When you get out, you have to find a dentist and find, especially if you're not near a military base. You have to actively search for that stuff, a place for your wife to work, where you're going, first of all. If you're married, you and your wife might be from two different states, or do you even want to go back to your state? And where you're going to work. Don't forget about that. All those things is why we started this community, because I thought I had it all figured out. The only thing I really had figured out was a house with where we are going to live and a job. I didn't know much about medical education, all the other things that started to pop up on me. I didn't even do my medical, my VA benefits like to 2 years after I got out, because it nobody told me to. Nobody hounded me and said, get to the VA, get to the VA. You got to start the thing. I didn't do any of that because I Sergeant Major, man, I know it all. And I quickly realized, painfully realized, that you're on your own. Help is there, but you got to ask for it. But you also have to know what to ask for, right? So there is no, and there probably was. Maybe there was communities like that out there, social media. It's been a while since I transitioned out. So and I gotta believe there's been so many problems with transitioning people, and you see it online. Let me help you transition. Let me help you with your disability, your VA home loan. There's people out there that want to help, because it hasn't always been a smooth transition. Combat veterans, PTSD. What do you do and how do you handle that? All this leading up to one, a community like this, you guys are amazing. And the other, veteran service organizations, the VSOs. And I did. I remember how I got involved in the Marine Corps League was the first one. Let me try and think. I don't remember even who turned me on to it. Do you? When I started to, I don't know. Somebody must have reached out. Yeah, because they're always looking for members. Um, so my point is, be aggressive just like you are as an active duty Marine, right? You're aggressive. When you something that you want to improve your career, your promotion, your duty station, your job assignment, your school that you want to go to, you're aggressive and you ask and you find out. So you have to do the same thing as soon as you get out, or even prior to now. Now you can start your retirement a year out. I think it's a year out now. It used to be 6 months. It used to be as soon as you get out, then they backed it up 6 months prior to getting out. Now it's a year. I think you can start your medical disability for one, which will completely help. You want to retire or get out with as much tools in your pocket as possible, right? So be aggressive, talk to people, and a great way to find military people, again, 4 years or an entire career, are these veteran service organizations. And there's new ones now. I can't even keep up with all of them. Red, white, and blue. I always bring up. That was the one I started getting involved with in Hawaii a little bit. Great organization. Of course, the Marine Corps League. What's the Army one? USAA, or no, that's my insurance. What is it? AUSA Association, the United States Army. I'm sure every branch of service has one. The Air Force, I'm positive they all have one. Something. VFW. Help me out. Again, you know all of them. Randall's a Marine Corps leaguer. I have good brothers in Tucson. So they're all over the place. And these are veterans that want to be surrounded with like-minded people, right? That helps. No matter what job you do after you get out or retire, you're going to want to be surrounded by fellow warriors, right? Sit with a group of warriors. The conversation is different. That's a meme I saw somewhere. Marine Corps League has some cool license plates. Marine Corps League has some great stuff. I am a life member of Marine Corps League and the VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, AMVETS, or no, I'm the AMVETS life member, American Veterans. So either way, those are all great places to One, just go and have a beer with these veterans, right? And then find out when's their next car wash, their next bake sale. And they do other stuffs with red, white, and blue. We would go on hikes, right? We take veterans with us who don't get out much, right? We used to go to the VFW, I mean the VA, and just visit with bedridden veterans. Just hang out, just go and sit by their bedside, shoot the breeze with them. We go on holidays, bring stockings during Christmas. Just something to, again, another opportunity that everyone wins to serve. You just serve. And then I think about it when I get Jared's age, when I'm old and I'm maybe even bedridden or can't get out of the house, wheelchair bound, whatever it is, how great would that be to talk to a young Marine, right? Just getting that boot camp or his first duty station. Yep. And you can tell those old stories. I remember this one time on the depot. I was a drill instructor. I was in line, had time to ran across the street to get a drink or something. I was in the PX. I was in a rush, man. I just wanted to get this drink in because I had to get back to the recruits. I don't know what they're doing. The senior said, "Go, take 10 minutes." And I was in there, of course, I had my smoking on. I was in line. I was in a hurry, and some old guy behind was like, "Hey, son, how do you clean that smoky hat?" It's like, "Oh man, here we go. Some old dude. I ain't got time for this." I turned around and said, "Well, sir, he said, I'll tell you how I did it." And I immediately got irritated because I'm focused, man. I got shit to do, stuff to do. But now it's like, man, this dude is just nothing but knowledge, man. Just a older gentleman who was a drone instructor, probably in the 50s. I don't know what time frame he was in, and he had taught me a way to clean my smoky that I had never heard of, using salt. And I mean, it was a lot of work because obviously mine was a little warped or something. That's probably what made him say I look like a sack of potatoes or something. "Yeah, let me show you." And I stopped what I was doing, man. I put my drink down and just engaged in a conversation with this dude. We got out of line. That was the best 15 minutes, man, of my life. I was like, good God, this dude. And he ended up, he was one of the old guys that worked at uh, quarter sales. They don't have that anymore. Quarter sales, when recruits drop, they dump all their uniforms at quarter sales. You can buy them for cheap. He was the guy that worked there. And I ended up seeing him like a year later or something. He didn't. I don't know if he remembered our conversation, but it's just amazing what you can learn when you do talk to these guys, and that's who is at those veteran service organizations. So bring your today's knowledge in, compare stories, right? Talk a little trash to each other. Everyone wins. Once again, I can't stress that enough. All right. What did old man Jared say? "Hey, Randall, sorry I made you pick on me because I'm so damn good looking." uh, Always clean with your PFCs, not your back. What does that mean? David, hello, it's 99 here, Empire Acres. Man, good stuff. VSOs, newer organizations. What are some of the new organizations? Do you have any offhand? MCRD Barbers. I think they're still there. Same ones. They're all old and laid back. I wish I could have picked their brains. Those are some interesting guys. The cleaners, everyone. Uh, Expos. We never had problems. My father retired in 1963 Navy, 21 years. We used to go to Long Beach Naval Hospital. That's where the producer was born, Long Beach Naval Hospital. I think around the same time that was in the Navy. uh, God sent me down there from heaven. He said you can be smart or pretty. I can't read. Facts. Uh, Semper Fi till I die. What's up, Ray? Semper Fi, my friend. Uh, been another great show. Where we at time wise? Farmer's greatest Spain retirement. I love it. So one wood working gunny bear. Farming, first of all, is hard work, but it's got to be a great way to spend retirement. And it's something I want to do still. We spent a little bit of time in Texas. We fell in love with everything about it. In another life, or maybe here in the near future, a ranch in Texas somewhere is our dream. Again, and I talked about this early on when we started doing the lives. That's our ultimate goal. A ranch with ranch houses on 60 acres. I don't care where in Texas. Got to have some hills. So if you know Texas Hill Country, I can't do the flatland, but somewhere in Texas, and it's going to be a place also for transitioning Marines. That's been our goal. That's been our motivation. That's been the drive behind everything that we're doing here. Is again getting a ranch. I don't know anything about ranchers. What do you do with cows? You take them for a walk. But I want to learn all that. Want to wake up in the morning, feed all the animals, get all the eggs from the chickens, separate the goats from fighting. Look at Kerrville, Jared, is the place you want. We've been to Kerrville, and that's beautiful. So somewhere in hill country, and in the meantime, guess who's going to man all that stuff? Transition Marines or any service member. Transitioning out, need a place to one, get some work done, some farming work, have some access to finding jobs, to taking college courses, to prepare yourself for life after the service. In the meantime, you're gonna help us run the ranch, build the bunkhouse, right? Build a head facility in the bunkhouse, a kitchen in the bunkhouse, tend to the horses, change the shoes, all that stuff that I have no idea. Build a range. I want a range right on the property, rifle and pistol, axe throwing, just anything, rebuilding cars, whatever your trade happens to be. And if it's whatever that individual is trying to do, if you're a painter, guess what? You're going to be painting the barn in the bunkhouse, and you're going to be teaching everybody. So you're going to hone your skills while you prepare to transition into the world. Um, Permanent personnel. It's you're you're ideally you're not paying anything to stay there because you're in a transition period. You're going to give back by again fixing it. You're a plumber. You're going to do all the plumbing for the bunkhouse. If you're an electrician, you're going to electrocute the whole place. That's not the right word for it. You're going to power it. Those are the things that we're going to build barracks. I don't know why I just saw barracks. Throwing matches off barracks balcony. That's not what we're going to do. But yeah, I've seen that happen. That's the idea, right? That's the our own community, our own veteran service organization, right? And it's going to be the SFMF ranch. And that's the idea is just to get even kids prior to going in, they can come work on the ranch for a little bit in their summer prior to going to boot camp. Can you imagine being surrounded by if you're a young teenager just graduated high school and you don't ship out for a couple months, or even between junior and senior summer year, you still don't know what you want to do. Come to the ranch, spend the summer there, work while you're talking to all these veterans who've been there and done that. Right? It's a everybody wins. Man, I'm on this winning kick right now. Let's all win. Just one win after the other. Right? Um, invite VSOs to come out there and check out the pool of people that we have. Help us out. Let us know what we can do better. How can we become do a fun run, do a beach cleanup, all those things that we are already talking about. Improve your education. A resource bank of stuff that a job we've never even heard of, but we know someone who does, right? And all the while running a ranch and a garden. Shoot, let's grow our own vegetables and fruit. Self-sustainable SFMF ranch house. That's what we're trying to do, right? Um, and it's possible, right? That's again the whole purpose of starting this community and building it up. And you guys are amazing. You're going to be the ones running this ranch house. I do definitely want um, some horses, and I don't know the first thing about taking care of a horse. Any of the animals, right? Have some dogs on there. Have some. Ooh, what if we get those the retired military police dogs, right? How cool would that be? Or even train service animals, right? Train our own. Whatever your expert is, whatever your skill is, whatever anyone that comes in and wants to, hey, can you start this up? I haven't find anybody that will help me train carrier pigeons. I don't know. Whatever it is, we're going to be the resource for it. Right. So David Bryant has a third of an acre in Hilltop Lakes in Texas, about 40 minutes away from Texas A&M. I've had it there. I've had it 25 years, only been there once. Look it up. If you're interested, it's yours. David Bryant, don't play. We're going to look it up. Make notes right now. As you know, Annie Benanni's going to Texas A&M. A third of an acre, Hilltop Lakes, Texas. You looking it up? Let's meet, David. Let's meet out there. We ain't playing. We're gonna be. I'm taking Annie Benanni there next month. Right? We're not playing. Let's talk, David. That can be our start right there. Man, Belgian Malinois, Randall, amazing, amazing animal. Have a good friend that just got one. From the other service branches, which tier two special operations unit impresses you the most and why? Eric S., great question. I don't know enough about any of them to be more impressed with one than the other. I hold any special forces in high regards. All of them, I want to say equally. And it depends on who you're talking to. You're talking to a SEAL, they're the best in the world. You're talking to a Green Beret, they're the best in the world. So I don't know enough about all of them. I've worked a little bit with all of them at one point or another throughout my career. Here's what I do know. Anyone in any profession that puts that much time and effort into it, got to believe that they're 100% professional. Until you see things like what's the name? The dude that everybody's dogging totally inflated his story. Tim Kennedy, right, had 150 hand grenades in one backpack. So I know those guys are out there too, and couldn't care less. They're missing something in their, like our trolls on here. They're missing something in their. They need God in their life is what they need. So I hold them all, the good ones, in high regards, and I not care enough to look into it and check on which ones are the most. Tim Kennedy, the badass of the badasses, and I'm pro Marine. Obviously, I'm completely biased. I'll take a basically trained Marine over just about anybody, because that Marine that has made it through boot camp or OCS has the discipline, the tenacity, right, the lethality to do whatever is needed to be done. So I don't know if I danced around your question at all, but again, I don't know enough difference about either. I know Navy's primarily water, and SEALs primarily water. Everyone else is primarily ground, right? But I know they're badasses, and I know they can get the job done. I love to take a Marine. What are your thoughts on the Coast Guard MSRT unit? I know they're not special forces, but supposedly they're pretty legit. I don't know what SMSRT is. If they're anything like the PJs in the Air Force, they're badasses. PJs, parajumpers, right? They're the scuba guys that jump out of helicopters and save people. Again, any special forces, anything, MARSOC, any special forces, anything are awesome at what they do. Again, for your SEAL trains and SEAL training 24 hours a day, they're going to be a badass. All right. What's going on, Sergeant Major? I'm back to listen to what you had to say. Semper Fi. What's up, Flight Mech Podcast? Good to see you again. Master Guns, right? I mean, Master Chief. Good to see you. We're wrapping it up right now, brother, but maybe, right? I do have a little bit of memory left. Jared knows what I'm talking about. When you get to our age, your memory starts to go. But good to see you, Master Chief. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Correct answer was PJs. That's the Coast Guard has PJs, or is that the MSRP? It's different. It's the Coast Guard version of SEALs. So again, I hold on without even knowing. I'm pretty sure they're badass SFMF-ers. Well, they should be. All right. During wartime, doesn't the Coast Guard fall under the Navy? Another good question, Joe Schmo. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Coast Guard. I know the Coast Guard, their claim to fame is they do their job pretty much every day, right? Coasties. They're out on the water. They're interdicting drug trafficking pirates. They're doing their job like every day. Can't be easy. I think their day-to-day life is probably a little bit easier than your infantry marine. But here's what convinces me that they have a tough job ahead of them, and they could, is that their boot camp is the second hardest. Their boot camp is designed, and this is like 30 years ago now, probably 20 years ago. They completely redid their boot camp to mirror Marine Corps boot camp. They missed the Marine Corps era of it, but it's tough. Coast Guard boot camp is very tough. Right there, Jared says Coast Guard people are some tough people. They're legit. They do a lot up in Alaska with rescue, and they work with ICE and border control. Right? They're the icebreakers. Didn't the president just buy a new icebreaker? And all they do is drive around and break open the ice up in the North Pole, right? PJ Cruz, former corpsman here. What's up, Doc? Currently working in the Postal Service. Sounds great being a farmer after retirement. So the VA has a program for people who want to be farmers living in Puerto Rico. Thanks. I don't know if the VA has it, but that's what we're trying to create here at SFMF. We're trying to create that. But the VA probably does, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they have a program that could help. Joe Schmo, answer your question from Master Chief. Yes, the Coast Guard does fall under the U.S. Navy during wartime. Very interesting. That's cool. I didn't know that. Zach, man, I was in the second MEF for the first 3 years. Second round years, I was in third MEF. All right, East Coast, West Coast type of thing. Uh, People scoff at Coast Guard, but most have no idea how tough Coast Guard really is. I believe that as well. Um, what Ty, what would you say to someone who is between the Marines and the Army? Friends, don't let friends join the Army. Hurrah. Ooh, on you, Ty. You seriously, one, like and subscribe to the channel and hang out here with us for a while, and you're gonna get a heavy Marine bias, but then take that information to some Army guys. And there's plenty of Army on here as well. So it's something that you have to decide. And this is the mature side of me saying, choose what's best for you, right? I can easily say, of course, the Marines. Why would you even think about anything else? And thank God every day that I chose the path that I chose. But that's me again, brainwashed. Yes, 24/7. But talk to people just like when people ask me, should I enlist or become an officer? That's your decision, but get as much knowledge about both. You can ask me all day long, and I'm going to convince you to enlist because that's what I did, and no regrets. I wouldn't change a thing. So you got to talk to both sides, Army and Navy. Hang out with us, right? And try and find an Army channel and do the same thing. Get as much knowledge as you can. Knowledge is power. Joe Schmo said his father was in the Coast Guard, World War II. He was on a submarine or a sub chaser, WP-78 in the USS Mohawk. 14 Nazi submarine sunk. Impressive. What was that? A nine? Four? Just four? Okay, well, I did two hands. That is awesome, Joe. Impressive. Give me those hand and arm signals. Like when she tells me I'm number one, but she uses you know what finger. Uh, Liz's mom for life. Hello, sir. First time watching. Like and subscribe and share with your friends, Liz, or Liz's mom, and tell Liz to watch also. We are a family here. Semper Fi My Friend is what this channel is. And we talk about all things military related, Patriot related, America related. So hang out. Let us know what you think. C4 Officer 5 Gunner. What did Randall say? Look at Colt Reimer. Sergeant Major, how are you? Doing well. Reimer, how about you? We are just talking about the farm. How's Lubbock, Texas doing right now? Are you still there? Jack O. Yes, a little bit. I try to every day. I still got to get my workout in today. Remember, no days off. I wore out. Annie Banana, she on here? She's a little sore from yesterday morning's workout, or 04 workout, by the way. Master Chief says, my father joined the U.S. Marine Corps during World War II from the Blues, for the Blues. He loved it. I joined the U.S. Navy for the Blues. Yeah, whatever. I never got to wear them. I just wore my camis every day. You know what? The Navy uniform I like, and I would never be able to wear one, is the all whites. I would destroy it, especially the white shoes, but it looks pretty sharp. My friend Eric, this is a PG channel. I thought it was for a different meaning for MF. Yes, offline. And if you know, you know. Semper Fi, my friend. Yes, sir. It's been raining like crazy in Lubbock, Texas. All right. Keep getting after it. Reimer, what are you doing? What are you gonna do? Still gonna listen to Marine Corps, right? I see that face, Annie Banani. Producer, section 11-8, block 2. You getting all this? You never wore dress whites. I wasn't a dress white Marine. They were out. Just Jared and Major Payne wore the dress whites. Look at Ace. My father stormed Juno Beach with the Canadian Army in World War II. He was 16, lied about his age to fight the Nazis. Amazing. How about those stories you hear of those guys, 15, 16, and 17? I even think there's a 14-year-old Marine that did that, somehow lied on everything back then. Technology was non-existent, so they were able to do that. That's some hard MFers, right? At 15, 16 years old to go fight. That's awesome. Again, at 15, the last thing I was thinking about was the military. Well, if SFMF goes to Texas, they have to pass right by my property. But we'll let you know. Trust me, we're going to let everyone know. I'll be up on the hill with my spotting scope. All right, we'll let you know. Um, that is the dream. That wasn't part of today's show, but I'm glad we did get to talk about it. Got some great information, and Bolo, be on the lookout for it, because that is our ultimate goal for everything we do here, why we're doing what we're doing. And imagine that, how great that would be for a transition ranch like that. But just again, everyone wins. All right, it's been awesome. Another awesome Sunday. Get to church. God bless you all. No Wednesday live. We'll see you next Sunday. Watch the shorts, like, subscribe, and share. Simplify, my friends. Hurrah.